Hey everybody, hope everybody's having a great day. It's Friday and it's 75 degrees out here in Kinley, North Carolina. Nice sunshine day. And I was coming to you live here. I want to talk a little bit about ELS, what we have going on. Some of our drivers that are out there on the road today, I got some messages for you guys that I wanted to tell everybody, and then we'll open it up for questions a little bit later on. So, first, we'll talk a little bit about safety. A couple of things the safety department wants me to go over with everybody is speeding. Obviously, our trucks only run about 70 miles an hour, so that's not a real huge deal on the interstate. But in work zones, obviously, there's a lot of work zones out there, which is good for our business too, because guess what goes into concrete? Rebar. We haul a lot of rebar, so that's good. So make sure in a work zone, you slow down, leave plenty of room. And let's do that to be as safe as we can. Obviously, going around curves, we want to slow down for those things as well. And leave enough distance between you and the truck in front. So, you slam on brakes, you run the risk of having a load shift or something like that. Obviously, those are no good. Now, cameras. Obviously, a lot of our trucks now are starting to be outfitted with cameras, much like most of the larger trucking companies in the country are putting cameras on there. They're for your protection as well, because as you well know, it's always our fault, right? So it's always the trucker's fault whenever something goes on. So we want to avoid that. And plus, obviously, cars cut you off every day. It's nice to be able to have something to go back and say it wasn't our fault, right? So a couple things for the maintenance department. Start checking ACs. It's a good time for them to go down. Obviously, it's getting hot. Like I said, it's 75 degrees today in Kinley, North Carolina. Let's go ahead and check those things. If they need to be charged, let's go get them charged, because it's going to be really bad when you get a load from Chicago to Houston, Texas, and on Saturday morning you realize your AC doesn't work and it's 80 degrees outside. That's going to be not a whole lot of fun to be in a hot truck. Stay up to date on your PMs. Obviously, if you do PMs, we're going to catch a couple things too from the mechanics, but also got to change that oil. Got to keep those Cummins and Detroit motors running like they're supposed to. Look, pre-trip your brakes. That's another thing we always want to talk about, is make sure that we're really pre-tripping that truck very good every day. One of the things that they wanted me to let you guys know too is that, look, once a week, you need to park at a decent truck stop with some good asphalt down there. Really crawl up under your truck, check the stuff out, because we don't want any violations at the scales. And also want to catch things if we can. So that's kind of the two quick reminders from our maintenance and safety department. But, I talked a little bit about last week about our competition, what they pay versus what we pay. Now, I will tell you, I think that we pay better than everybody else, and I'm getting ready to prove it to you. So what I did is I actually went online, and I took literally right from a company's websites exactly what they pay. And I'm going to tell you what we pay. I'm going to tell you how it's a much better choice to start off at ELS. So the first company I pulled up is a well-known flatbed carrier. They do pretty much a lot of the same stuff that we do. Here's their pay package. Starting pay, 47 cents. After 7 years, you'll finally make 55 cents, right? So right off the bat, with us, you are 5 cents higher to work for us on a mileage, but not even going to percentage. We'll go on that later. 5 cents higher than their highest paid driver, literally right off the bat. So obviously, ELS is going to pay a lot more. We pay 60 cents, so we're better than that competition right there. The this is a lease from another competitor of ours. Line haul is, I don't know if you can see that right there, 65%. We pay 70. I think our rates are a little bit higher than this competitor as well. So, obviously, if you get an extra 5%, at 70% with us, you'll be pretty good. Here's kind of the interesting thing, too. If you're going to look right here, you'll see they're, for a newer model trucks, range from $800 to $850 a week. That's higher than what we do. We can put you in a brand new truck for $499 a week. So not only with us versus them, you're going to have a cheaper truck, but you're also going to get paid more of a line haul percentage. So that's something definitely to keep in there whenever you're looking to go to a new trucking company. Here's another competitor. Now this is three different examples. I'm sorry you can't see this one down at the very, very bottom. But so one of our competitors, they start drivers out at 46 cents a mile. There's another one that's back in the 40s. I mean, there's van jobs out there that'll probably pay you that, right? And so that's how. Now this is a little bit better. Their starting pay is anywhere from 51 to 59. I could probably go ahead and tell you, I doubt that 100% of their drivers are coming in at 59. So I know a lot better than that here at ELS. And what this one is right here is actually a percentage. So this carrier says at 26% equals 49 cents per mile. At 27%, it's 51 cents per mile. And then they said most of their drivers make 32% at 6, and that's only 60, right? So, I doubt that everybody over there makes 32% of the line haul, right? We pay anywhere from 25 to 28. I can go ahead and tell you our cent per mile is much, much higher than that. So here's another one too, and I'm sorry that it's so small you can't quite see it, but this carrier right here is a huge training carrier. They do basically the same thing we do. They run a lot of miles, but look, there's a whole lot of drivers that have this 3 to 12 months over the road driving experience. Those guys only make 45 cents. Now listen, if you're at a carrier and you have 6 months experience in the truck, you're out of school, you're a flatbed guy, you love what you do. 45 cents, I can go ahead and tell you, you're not going to pay a whole lot of bills with that. So you can leave that carrier after 6 months, come work for us, make 60 cents per mile if you want to do that. Or you can go make upwards of 25 to 28% on a percentage side. And obviously we're getting into the heavier freight season, so we're going to have a lot of guys that we will destroy a 60 cent per mile at home percentage. We'll destroy it this summer. Absolutely wear it out. So if you're not happy at 45 cents, come over here to ELS and we can do a lot better than this. Look, top baseline pay. So the million milers make 56 cents. If you're a million miler with this company, you need to come work for us. Because right now I'll pay you more. I mean, this is just hands down. And I don't know what all this stuff means to you guys, but they're top pay certified. I don't really know. I don't really understand how you can be top pay certified. And literally, I can show you right now, they're paying a lot less than we are. So that's just what I want to say. Obviously, our weekly minimum is $1,300. So that's kind of where we put guys. We start guys at 60 cents per mile, 70% on the lease purchase. We also pay, like I said, 25 to 28% on the company driver side as well. We've got great equipment. We have 53-foot trailers, which means we're going to get paid even more if you're on the percentage side. Typically, those loads pay anywhere from 20 to 35% more. Doesn't really cost us a whole lot more to do it outside of some permits. So that's another way to make more money over here. And here's one of the things I'll challenge you as well, is if you're an experienced 53-foot flatbed driver, like you're good, right? Like I'm the best of the best. Come see us. I promise you I will make it worth your time to come over here, check us out, get in one of our trucks, have a truck driving job that you always wanted, right? Because at the end of the day, I can just tell you, the people I just put up here are our competition. We're paid much better than our competition. So why don't you just call one of these great recruiters that love to talk to you, tell you even more about us, and we'll go on from there. So that's kind of what I have, what I kind of want to spill to you. Now we're going to open it up for some questions that we're getting online, and then we'll go from there. All right, Victoria, what you got for me?
Tyler Morgan asks if all the new Lone Stars are automatic or some manual.
So actually the last 30 that we just received are going to be all automatics. Kind of went over this last week a little bit too. The automatic's going to give you a lot better fuel economy. At the end of the day, that's exactly what you want to have. The difference between 5.5 and 6.5 miles per gallon at the end of the year is going to be roughly about $10,000-12,000. So that's the reason why we do it that way. We still have some Lone Stars that are here too that are new Lone Stars that have 13 speeds in them. So if that's really what you want, I think we can make that happen for you. But like I said, I really look at getting automatic because that's definitely something that you want to do.
Okay. Marvin Conway said he's here in Chicago, Illinois. His son just graduated from boot camp.
Well, that's good. There you go, Marvin. That's awesome. Be back to work Tuesday morning. I hear you, buddy. I hear you. We'll definitely have a lot of stuff for you to do. Obviously Chicago is a huge lane for us. We try to get to Chicago quite a bit. A lot of great customers up there that pay extremely well, and that freight literally goes all over the country. So that's definitely something that's pretty good. What else you got, Vicki?
Jeremy Holmes asked, can we bring our truck over to y'all?
Yeah, go right ahead. Hey, so kind of give you a little bit of backdrop about us. So we actually started as a 100% owner-operator company. We started with 5 owner-operators. We leased some trailers and turned around and gave them to the drivers. That's how we started. So, that's kind of our backbone. That's one of the reasons why we got into the whole lease purchase thing. Was there was a lot of guys that were going to banks and getting trucks, and they were paying, a $20,000 truck they were paying $45,000 for, and 1,000% interest, and so that's kind of why we got in the lease purchase side of this. But yeah, bring your own truck. It passes the DOT. It's in great shape as far as looks presentable. It's good to go down the road. Yeah, come on with it. We'll definitely hook you right on up. So, another couple of things too I want to throw out there at you as well is that whenever you come over to ELS, kind of how we dispatch, and that's something that between owner operators, lease purchase guys, company guys, right? So whenever we dispatch our trucks, we don't really look at whether you're a company guy, lease purchase guy, owner operator. I know a lot of companies, they try to filter their stuff, and when things get tight, they're going to make sure their company trucks are filled. We don't do any of that. A truck and a driver to us is what it is, right? A truck and a driver. I don't really care how you get paid. At the end of the day, I want you to make money. So when we go and dispatch loads out, we go find loads, we have no favoritism at all. We want everybody to make money around here, and that's kind of how we did it. And something else too, I'll tell you, it's pretty interesting. We actually had 4% of our entire fleet last week gross $10,000. That's pretty solid, I think. And then we had another, I think it was something like 44% of our entire trucks were over $6,000. That's pretty solid. That's how you make some money around here. So, it's pretty good. Look, the money is heating up right now. Obviously, we're getting back into the building season. So, like I was speaking with everybody last week, there's literally a crazy, almost 40% swing between the bottom, which is basically Christmas, and July 4th, which is the top, right? So now's the time to come on over here and get this thing going, because we're bringing on new customers every day. We're making our network much better every day. So there's going to be a lot more opportunity. We're trying to get our OD loads up. Obviously, like I said earlier, OD loads are going to pay you 20 to 35% more. So that's definitely a positive. So now's a great time to make a change if you've been thinking about it. We got some great equipment out here. We're flipping over most of our older trucks, so a lot of the stuff's going to be new. If you think about lease purchase, I can tell you our competition is going to give you a truck with 450, 500,000 miles on it, right? Doesn't have a warranty. First time it goes down, you're stuck with a $13,000 bill. With our trucks, they have warranties on them. They're 500,000 mile warranties on the active treatment, the engine, transmission, rear ends, all that kind of stuff under warranty. So hey, if something happens, guess what? Let them fix it. There's no sense in the world for you to sit there and have to go shell out $13,000 to go. You got to go repair one of these DEF systems on these trucks. So I mean, just be cautious about that. And I can tell you too, there's not a lot of difference between our lease payment per week and theirs. And at the end of the day, I mean, look, let's just call it, let's just say by sheer chance it's $400 for them, right? So literally, what's another $99 a week, really, to have a truck that's going to work? So go ahead, Vicki, what else you got?
Mr. David Redwine wants to know if he can have an enclosed headache rack.
I hear you. So I'll tell you the reason why we don't have enclosed headache racks. Number one, they're a little bit added weight. Number two, they are stupid expensive. So that's kind of one of the two reasons why we didn't want to do them. And then also too, if something, let's say something happened to one of them, they're extremely expensive to replace. The headache racks that we have now, something happens to them, it's pretty easy to fix. That's the reason why we did it. But I'll tell you what, Mr. Redwine, if you want to call in here and talk to maintenance, and then we'll go see what's going on. We'll see if we can't work something out for you, because you've been here a while. I don't have a problem with guys that have been here a little while. they want to start doing little things to their truck, that's fine. Obviously, we're not going to go throw 4,000 chicken lights on your truck. We're not going to go put pink polka dots all over it. Can't do that kind of stuff. But little things that kind of make it your own a little bit. That's going to make it work a little better. Don't have a problem with that. But you need to be here a little bit of time to be able to do that. And obviously, he's been here a little bit, so he's got the opportunity to do that. What you got?
Okay. Steve McGee, this is the long one, okay? What is the average weekly gross pay for above average driver? I'm currently in a lease purchase, average 6 to 8 a week, but I'm looking for something different because the current truck is costing me all I have in maintenance repairs. 282 trucks, and I currently sit number 2, and that's only because I've been home a week. I'm listening, waiting in Texas.
Well, I will tell you this. If you're averaging $6,000 to $8,000 a week, that's extremely well. I'll tell you, if you can do $6,000 to $8,000 a week every single week, for the foreseeable future until trucks cost you $300,000 a piece, you're going to do extremely well. So that is awesome. So that tells me a couple different things. Number one, I don't know what your rate per mile is, so I can't tell exactly how much your freight is actually paying per mile. I can tell you what we do. We're going to be somewhere in that 260, 265 range coming up here real soon when we start blowing and going, and it hopefully goes higher than that. So, but $6,000 to $8,000 a week, you're doing really well. However, like I was mentioning earlier, if you're in a truck where literally all of it is either going, all your money is either going out the pipes on the top, or they're going into Jim Bug's repair shop, that's not gonna do you any good, right? So at the end of the day, you want to be able to take that money home. So I can tell you, if you're $6,000 to $8,000 a week, wherever you're at, you take the same work ethic, come over here to ELS, I'll put a lot more money in your pocket. Because, at the end of the day, you probably don't have a warranty, obviously. And I mean, you're just, it's crazy. You're spinning your wheels. There's a lot of companies out there that do that. We don't do that just because I don't feel like it makes guys successful. So give these recruiters a call. They'll hook you right on up. What you got, Vicky?
Second question from Steve McGee. Can we get a Lone Star with a 13 and duals instead of the singles?
So the first part of that is that, yeah, we've got some Lone Stars with 13s. As far as the duals go, no. Here's the reason why. We have to save every bit of weight we possibly can. So it might, 400 pounds might not seem like a lot of weight to you, but, we haul a lot of drywall, we haul a lot of heavy products, and being able to put that extra weight on there is going to help you get loaded. We've been running super singles forever. I think they're a highly engineered tire, a lot of natural rubber in the tires that we get, and what that means is, they're going to wear better, they're going to dissipate heat better, it's more natural rubber. We don't have a lot of blowouts, we don't have any problems. We've been running predominantly Michelin forever on those. We do run a little bit of Yokohamas. They do extremely well. That's kind of the reason why we do it. It's, and a lot of flatbed carriers do it because we're looking to save weight. All right, Biggie.
Levi Stahl wants to know when they can get a permanent increase above 25% on the company side.
A permanent increase? Well, here's the way we do that. Is on the, now in Ohio we pay much better than that because it's kind of a little bit different how the freight works. As far as on our side, yeah, we've got the opportunity to pay more every single month. You have the opportunity to make 28% every single month. As long as you run either 10,000 miles for the month or you gross $24,000 to the truck, right? Because, I mean, at the end of the day, the idea is to run as few amount of miles as possible and gross the most amount of money, right? So you have the opportunity to make 28%. Now, obviously, there's some caveats in there. We got to be safe. We've got to be respectful of customers. We got to be great professional drivers. But yeah, you can definitely make some more money every single week. That's kind of the way we do it because at the end of the day, the more that you turn those wheels in that truck, we have fixed costs too, right? So if we can meet our fixed costs, if we do a little bit extra, we'll pay you more. So that's what we do with that is we'll back pay that 3%. And to be honest with you, it's like getting the fifth check in a month. So that's kind of how you do that. If you need any other explanation about how you do that, or you want to look at what you're doing, do not have a problem to give your dispatcher a call. We'll go over your performance with you. We'll look at it every week, and to try to get you that because that's where we want you to be. We really want to pay everybody 28% every single month. That's exactly what we want to do because that means our trucks are doing pretty well. All right, Vicki.
William Nichols lives in Jacksonville, North Carolina. He's hoping to hear about some more southeast, southwest freight.
Yeah, well, I mean, so speak a little bit about our freight lanes. Typically, so he lives in Jacksonville, North Carolina. Okay, so living in Jacksonville, North Carolina, here's one of the good and bad things about living in North Carolina. Most of our freight in North Carolina is going to go to the north. I mean, it's just kind of always been that way, kind of always will be that way. We do have a lot of westbound freight out of here. We've been doing business a long time in this area. Got some great customers. We got a lot of stuff that goes back into the Midwest, which is perfect. So, we're always adding in new customers. We had a great meeting with another North Carolina customer earlier this week. So we're trying to put together some more deals there for all of our guys. But, I will tell you, we're adding a lot of customers. We're adding in a lot of customers in the Southwest. But, sometimes you got to remember this, too. A lot of times when you're running freight, especially off of the East Coast, and like say, you're trying to go back to Texas, every other flatbed carrier in the country wants to do that. Typically because it gets a lot of drivers home. So when a lot of people want something, what happens? Brings the price down. So what we try to do is that we try, we do have that freight, but we also try to run the Midwest. We'll run the Northeast out of here. And, doing those things, it gives us a little bit better pay package, gives us a little better options. And then, too, we'll go to a customer and say, hey, we'll cover your stuff going to Connecticut, but your stuff going to Alabama, we want that as well. They're much more inclined to give us that business than they are if we just go and say, hey, we just want Alabama and that's it. So that's kind of how that works.
Joey Lemon wants to know if you're thinking of throwing some extra cash for the long deadhead.
Well, so here's how it works. As far as deadhead, obviously, if you're cents per mile, you get paid for every mile you turn, right? Doesn't really matter. On percentage-based guys. So at the end of the day, everything balances out. So, what our guys do when they deadhead, obviously, you get paid to go to those things. So it balances out. Like for instance, I'll tell you this. So we had a driver that's in Kansas City that's going over to St. Louis and picking up a load that's going to Philadelphia, right? Now, so Kansas City to St. Louis is a long deadhead. However, the load, by the time he picks it up, deadheads, and it gets to the customer, he's still running that truck at about $2.65 a mile, right? So it kind of works out. So that's kind of how that works out. Joey, if you don't like that, you would rather be paid cents per mile, don't have a problem at all changing it over. That's kind of the reason why we do cents per mile and percentage. I like to think that the percentage pay is going to be better for you. But, some guys just, some guys like the cents per mile too. So that's kind of why we do both of them.
Desiree Purdom wants to know, is there any information for our drivers training new drivers coming in that y'all posted about recently?
I'm not sure exactly what you want, but yeah, I mean, we're definitely looking for guys that want to be flatbed drivers. Because I'll tell you this, I mean, for all the drivers that are out there, everybody has always known this forever. I've known this since I was a kid. When you pull in that truck stop, everybody knows when a flatbed driver gets in there, he's a real driver. Now, not saying the guys with full vans aren't, but everybody knows swinging doors are pretty easy. When you start securing, equipment to a trailer, 60-foot beams, you're going up there, you're tarping, you do all that kind of stuff. You're working. Now you're a real driver, right? Now you're out there, you're securing your freight and getting it down the highway. So what we want to do is we want to be able to take guys that have that over-the-road experience and say, hey, you know what? I want to become a real driver now. I want to be a flatbedder. That's what I want to do. So we're going to our fleet right now and going to some of our guys that we feel like would be great trainers, and we're going to say, hey, listen, let's train some of these guys up. And it behooves them because, obviously if you're throwing tarps, it's a lot easier to throw tarps with 4 hands rather than 2. But also, too, we're able to go out there and secure more customers because we have more drivers on the road. We're not going to go actually train students out of school. That's not in our cards right now. We're just taking guys that are solid drivers and say, hey, I just want to be flatbed guys. So that's what we're doing. We have a pretty good course going on. We're also going to start doing some more extensive ground training here in Kenley and also in Memphis. So those things will help us out as far as training goes.
David Redwine wants to know what kind of money is out for the Northeast region.
What kind of money is out for the Northeast region? So typically when we run, so I guess you're talking about just predominantly running up there. We do have a lot of freight that goes that way. We have a lot of freight that stays in those lanes. Right now, the timing's not right to just park trucks up there in mass quantities and run a lot of that freight. but I will tell you, it always does come. Normally their building segment is a little bit lag behind the South, obviously because of the weather's a little bit different. But we start running up there, we run really well. We have a lot of great customers in the area. I mean, I can tell you it's night and day difference today versus where it was 6 years ago as far as our customer base. We've got some long-standing relationships. And because, I mean, quite frankly, for years and years, if you got a dollar mile coming out of the Northeast, you did pretty well. Now it's nowhere even close to the same. We do, obviously you're not going to get paid as much coming out. But, I mean, we got a lot of good freight coming out of there. Got a lot of stuff out of Philadelphia. Got a lot of stuff out of New Jersey. Got stuff out of Connecticut, Massachusetts, New Hampshire. So we get up that way and do pretty well. I mean, we do great out of Baltimore as well. So check back with us later on. Keep on your dispatcher, and with some good opportunities arise, we'll try to get you on it. I mean, and speaking about dedicated operations too, we're always trying to add in dedicated operations. As we get those, we'll definitely try to let we always go from seniority on the list down, unless you just happen to live in a really good area and it kind of works. So keep checking back on that. We've got some dedicated operations going on right now. Those drivers that are doing it got a report today. They're doing excellent. That's what we like to hear. That's how we're able to put more trucks in there and grow with that business, because everybody likes dedicated. Although, like I was speaking to last week, it's dedicated is great because you're going back and forth. You're going to the same place every time. However, a lot of our trucks make a lot more money out there on the open spot market. So that's something to look into. Obviously, freight rates are going up, which is positive. We're getting into the summer busy season. So we look for everybody's pay to keep going up as well.
Levi Stahl would like some clarity about vacation pay and the 401k option.
I tell you what, that's actually not my department. So if you got any specific questions about that, give Teresa Parker a shout here in the office, and she could go over all that stuff with you. That's something that I don't know a tremendous amount about. So she can help you out with that. Obviously we try to give you the best benefits we possibly can. So she knows all about that. She works very tirelessly to be able to offer things, good things to people. So just give her a shout. She can walk you right on through it.
Raymond Wren wants to know, what's the wait time to get a new load, information, pre-planning?
So it really depends on where you are. Obviously, in the wintertime, you might have to wait a little bit. The summertime, not so much at all, right? I mean, basically, if you have to wait this time of year at all, it's not because we don't have freight. It's just we're trying to make sure that, number one, all the freight gets picked up in the general area that you're in. So we're making sure the drivers are going to get where they're supposed to be, get it unloaded, and so we can actually plan. I can tell you, obviously, certain areas are much better than others. Typically speaking, if you're in the Midwest, you probably have a pre-plan thrown on you the time you load on your previous load. So there's definitely, better areas. And I'll tell you, if you're in North Dakota, I'll be quite frank, we don't have any customers in North Dakota. You get unloaded, you might have to wait a little bit. Now, luckily, what we do as well is if we know you're in a bad area for us, we're going out there and actively trying to find something the day before if we can, or we get in the office very early and we're out there, hitting people up, trying to get you out of there. So, we don't really wait a tremendous amount, which is a good thing. I think today we had, every truck was loaded today by like 10 o'clock in the morning. So that's pretty solid. And then we're probably, I'd be willing to bet you we're probably 70% booked for Monday. We try to always, we don't go out there and book a whole tremendous amount of freight for Monday. A lot of times because, things happen over the weekend, whatever. So we don't want to be caught with 10 loads in a given area and only 2 trucks. That doesn't make customers very happy. So, like I said, we pre-plan as much as we possibly can. If we do have an option, we'll try to run it past you. But that's kind of how we do that.
Stacy Shaw asking, can you train while you're in the lease purchase?
No, that, not really, right? Because, at the end of the day, we want to train you, get you set up right? Then we want to put you in the truck on your own, and then we'll run you, as a company driver here for a little bit, make sure you kind of, you're out there on your own, you understand what's going on, you understand the freight network a little bit better. And then when everything's kind of, moving on pretty good, then we'll start that lease for you. Because I mean, at the end of the day, we want you to be successful. I mean, if we didn't care about it, I mean, there was a carrier out there that just got in trouble because they were having lease purchase people as trainers, and you just can't do that stuff. I mean, at the end of the day, we want you to be successful here, and that's our main objective.
Tyler Morgan says he's been swinging doors for the last year. Does that mean I'm not qualified? Before that, 3 years of flatbed and 1 as a trainer.
So Tyler, I guess everybody has to have a breather every now and again. I completely understand that. Throwing tarps and chaining stuff down, South Alabama in August is a hot job. Now, I can't speak to exactly what your PSP or in your driving record looks like, but if you got 3 years of verifiable flatbed experience, yeah, we'll definitely bring you in here and get you rolling right out the gate. I mean, it's kind of, it's sort of like riding a bike, right? I mean, once you've done it for so long, you definitely understand how to do it. Maybe we can teach you some stuff when you get here. We're all about best practices. So, definitely hit these people up. They'll definitely help you out in recruiting. They can give you some more concrete answers once they review all your background information.
Stacy Shaw wants to know if you can go straight into heavy haul bypassing flatbed.
Definitely not. So running in our heavy commodities division up in the Midwest it's a lot more. You got to know how to drive, right? And what I mean by that, you got to think about it. I mean, you're rolling out of the steel mill weighing 120,000 pounds, much different than the 80,000 pounds of what we do now. So you might have 2 big heavy coils on there. So you really need to know how to do that. So what we typically can do is we can get you to flatbed. You understand flatbeds, understand how to secure it, all that kind of stuff. And then what we'll do is we can take you to Ohio as well. We'll put you with somebody for a little bit, train you up exactly how to do that. Because, when you're weighing that kind of weight, you have to know what you're doing. So we're very, very cautious with that. We want to make sure that we have great drivers. And I'll tell you something else, too. Most of our drivers in Ohio have been with us. So we actually acquired a company in Ohio, is how we have that division. But there's companies, there's drivers up there, they've been with our company for 20 years. I mean, it's a great life. It's people are home on the weekends. A lot of times, they buzz by their house during the week. Your tarping days are over. They're all slide Conestogas, so they work really, really well. That's a great deal for a lot of people. So definitely that's something you want to do. Give us a shout, and we definitely walk through the process.
Stacy also wants to know what's your average length of a heavy haul load.
So the average haul for a heavy haul is not that far. It's going to be somewhere in that 205, 210 range. Because of what they do a lot. So I call it hustling freight. They will pick up, say, just say on Monday night, right? They'll pick up, they'll drop off, Tuesday morning, reload, drop again Tuesday afternoon, and pick up again Tuesday night. So a lot of times those drivers are getting about 7 or 8 loads a week, for the most part. Now some of them, run typical flatbed business, right? Where they're going to pick up in, say, Indianapolis, Indiana, and drop in Cleveland, Ohio, which is 360 miles down the road, and then load right back. So we do some of that. We run a lot of, out of Detroit. We'll run a lot back down into northern Kentucky, and then load back up. So it's kind of hit and miss, kind of what you do. I mean, at the end of the day, we want to put $7,000 on the truck at the end of the week. The good thing about it is they don't run a lot of miles either. So if you're looking at lease purchase up there, you're not going to spend a tremendous amount of fuel because you're not really going a whole lot of places. But, you can still gross pretty good. And we've got some very successful guys up there that's been lease purchasing, but you got to get into the biggest problem that those guys have is you have to set your clock up right. What I mean by that is you have to get out of the door Sunday night. You got to be at the receiver with hours ready to roll. Because if you're dragging in 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, you're just setting your whole week up for failure. So the big thing is get out the house, get on down the road, and you'll be fine. And that goes for any division. I mean, especially in our flatbed business, regular business, you got to get out the house, you got to get down there Sunday to get a load the first thing Monday morning. Because like I said, I mean, if we can turn more miles because you get empty earlier, we're gonna make a little bit more money. So that's kind of how we do that.
Bobby wants to know if you hire current owner operators, what are the truck requirements and what do you offer?
So as far as Do we hire owner-operators? Of course, yes, we do. We definitely want to have owner-operators. As I mentioned earlier, we started off as an owner-operator company. As far as the truck requirements go, the lighter the truck, the better off we're going to be. We've got to pass the DOT. It's got to be, it's got to look nice. We can't have stuff hanging all over the place. It's got to look very presentable, very professional. As far as what we offer, just give us a call. We'll talk to you about your experience, whether you're pulling your own trailer, whether you're not, and we can hook you right on up. So just give us a call. We can definitely go over because, on the owner-operator side, there's so many different variables about, where you want to run, what you want to do, what kind of equipment you have. So just give us a call. We'll go with, your each individual case, and we'll get you signed up and get you rolling.
Joey Lemon wants to know, when are y'all starting a training program, and what are you asking of us before we can train if we want to?
So here's the thing: as far as training program, we've been training or cross training, I guess is the proper term, drivers for probably 2 years now. We've had pretty good success. Actually, some of our better lease purchase drivers started out as a trainee, so we've been very successful. We have not done it at all on a big scale. I mean, typically right now we'll train one person maybe a month, so it's not a whole lot of we've not really aggressively tried to grow that until now. So a couple of things we want from a trainer is obviously we want you to monitor what they do and mold them into a good flatbed driver. We have a whole training program of what we want everybody to do. Give safety a call, give recruiting a call. They can kind of walk you through what we want as far as the bullet points, kind of what we're looking for, kind of what we want to do. And then before you start training, obviously we're going to bring you in here and train you to train. So there's some things that we want to make sure that you're going over with everybody of how to do it, because a lot of times if you're really good at what you do, sometimes it's hard to explain how you do it. You just do it, right? So we want to make sure that you're out there setting a positive example for everybody. Because at the end of the day, I mean, what you should want to do, if you're really, really good at your craft, you should want more people to be good at your craft, right? Because the better off, the more professional drivers we all can put on the highway that do it the right way, the better off we're going to be. So that's one of the big things we want to do is we want to take good, solid drivers who want to be flatbed guys, put them out there and show them how to do it the right way.
Stacy Shaw asked, are heavy haul trucks spec different from regular flatbed trucks?
Yes, they are. So the group of international LTs that we just put up there, they're going to be a little bit different. Obviously, we don't need that huge long wheelbase because they're not dumping anything over the nose of that trailer. It's by way of 60 foot. We're pulling a Conestoga, so it's basically it's a van trailer that you can slide the whole roof and the sides forward. So it's a pretty cool little deal. So because we're running at 120,000 pound gross, we beef up the drive line, we beef up the rear axles. They're all 13 speeds. They've got some aerodynamic stuff on them to try to save a little bit of fuel that can provide for us. So that's kind of how they're a little bit different. Typically, you spec a truck for what you do. So obviously, if we're running, with 120,000 pounds, it's a whole lot different than running with 80,000 pounds. So we try to spec them that way.
David Redwine wants to know, what's the pay to train drivers?
So as far as pay goes, it really depends on who you are and what you've got going. Because obviously, if you're a lease purchase guy and you're training somebody, there's going to be a different discussion than if you're a company driver. So if you call into recruiting, they can talk to you on each individual case, and we can get you set up, show you what we're trying to do, explain to you how it can behoove you as a current driver, and so we can make everybody a success. So just give recruiting a call. They can hook you right on up and tell you all the information you need to have.
Robin Stevenson wants to know if we hire owner operators.
Yes, we do. Hey, I'm glad everybody wants to know about that. That's very positive. Yes, we hire owner operators. Come on down. We'll be ready to go. Adam just commented too. I can see he runs our heavy Ohio division, and he really does make great money. I don't want to put Adam on the spot, but if you want to know what you can do up there as far as money-wise, reach out to him. He's a guy that can tell you exactly how to do it. Adam's one of these guys too that I know sometimes he'll run on the weekends as well. We've got some customers from time to time that will be open over the weekend, and we'll just start shoveling coals all weekend. He makes really, really good money. Been doing it for a while. So if you can talk to him, he can tell you that we're not up here filling you with a whole lot of smoke and mirrors and all that kind of stuff. You can make some good money up there if you run.
David Hawley wants to know, what engines are we running?
So most of our trucks now are going to have are going to be Cummins powered. We do have Detroit. Most of our motors are going to be 500 horsepower multi-torque motors. It's great stuff. They got a lot of pulling power. But yet too, they're highly fuel efficient. So that's the kind of motors we typically run. All of our motors now are under warranty, unless you're in a Coronado that you're leasing and you've been a lease for a while. That truck might not be under warranty, but those guys know that. We've had very good success with our motors. We hadn't had any trouble out of the Cummins or Detroit powers. So been very, very pleased.
Matthew Norris wants to know how much training is required before you get your own truck. He does have flatbed experience.
So that's kind of an open-ended question, right? I don't know how much flatbed experience you do have. Typically, we like to see, if you let's just say you're pulling a van right now, right? So if you've been pulling a van for last year, like a previous commenter had, but he has 3 years of flatbed experience, yeah, no problem there, right? Now, if you're coming from one of these training companies where you have 6 months over the road flatbed experience by yourself, complete easy thing to come on down, you get in the truck. So it really depends on where you are. I mean, you only have 2 weeks of flatbed experience, we're probably not going to put you in a truck all by yourself. I mean, you just can't do that. So, 1 year with TMC. I can tell you this. So TMC does train people pretty well. We actually, one of our outside sales guys actually started in this business as a driver for TMC. He will tell you that they train them right. But, I will tell you this too. You come on over here to us and you can make more money than what you get. So, 1 year of TMC, that's fine. Give Victoria, Curtis, or Sal a call. They will get you in here on orientation, get in our truck. And here's the cool thing, too, right? TMC is not the only trucking company with chicken lights and chrome. Our Lone Stars, heck, even our LTs have, dual stacks, big chrome bumpers. I mean, they're ready to go. So, we've got great equipment as well. So, we've got great equipment and we can pay a little bit better. So give them a call. Anybody out there that's interested in that works for some of those training companies like that, give us a shout. 6 months experience will pay you a lot better. And you can be in a real flashy truck too, right? So that's kind of what we want to do as far as that. So give us a call.
David Hawley wants to know, if we hire out of Florida, what's the home time look like if so? He has 5 years flatbed with 2 of it oversized dimensional weight.
So I'll tell you, do we hire out of Florida? Yes. We have hired drivers out of Florida forever. We've got a lot of current drivers live in Florida. They will tell you it's not a home every weekend kind of deal if you live in Florida. Do we have freight with Florida all the time? Yes, we do. However, as well as I do, freight out of Florida is not like, doesn't pay as much as freight out of Birmingham, Alabama. So what we try to do is we try to get guys out there on the road. If you live in Florida, you might as well count on being at the bare minimum out 2 weeks a month, at the very, very bare minimum. If you're a lease purchase driver, living in Florida, you might want to think about running a little bit more than that, just so you put some more money in your pocket, because, the weeks you go home, you're not going to have as much revenue if you're out there running from Birmingham to Chicago back to Atlanta to Pittsburgh. You're just not going to do all that, because obviously if you take a load down to Miami, you pay really good going down, right? But it doesn't hardly pay anything coming out. So that's something to keep in mind. So, we'd love to have you. We do got a lot of really great customers in Florida. I can't thank them enough for giving us business all these years. And we're also looking to add more customers down there. So give us a call. We'll see what we can do.
Desiree Purdom wants to say that her husband came over from TMC a year ago. Best decision he made for our little family. Awesome.
Well, hey, I'm glad to hear that. That's one of the things that makes me feel good when people say stuff like that, because we work very tirelessly to figure out a way to make sure our drivers do well every day, do well every week, provide for their family. So we appreciate that. And that speaks to the point that I made earlier. A person that came from another trucking company, comes over here and does much better. So that's great. Glad to hear it. If we can ever do anything for you, just let us know.
Levi Stahl wants to know when Texas Regional is coming. He lives right down the road from Midlothian and Verdal.
As far as, so I'll tell you this, we've, from time to time, we do, obviously we do run a lot of intra-Texas type freight and then freight back into Oklahoma, Louisiana, Arkansas. That's something that we actively try to do, but the market conditions got to be right as well. So right now, freight is picking up in Texas. So we're getting a lot more outbound. I can tell you this. I was in there talking to the CSR who does Texas for us, and we're starting to turn down lots of freight coming out of Texas right now. So we just didn't have the trucks down there. So we're starting to ramp some of that stuff back up. But like anything else, we don't want to have half our trucks in Texas every day. So we try to spread them out. We got a lot of great customers all over the country. Something that's going to be in the future too. We would like to run, bolster that regional type business down there. There's a lot of great customers down there. We just got to get down there and make it happen. So we're actively trying to do that.
Matthew Norris wants to know what's the hometown for Franklin, North Carolina.
Well, it depends on what you want to do. I mean, hometown, undoubtedly is personal preference. And what I mean by that is that so there's a direct correlation between staying out on the road and higher paycheck, going home more, lower paycheck. It's always going to be that way. I mean, if you're going home all the time, you're not going to make as much money as a guy that's out there, banging out miles every weekend. You're just not running as much. So it really depends on what you want to do, kind of, what your goals are, what your career goals are, what's your lifestyle look like, what you want to do. So definitely give us a call. We will, see what you got going on, see what kind of goals you want to accomplish, and then we'll tell you kind of, do we fit that? Do we not fit that? So that's how that goes for anybody. I can tell you this, guys that typically stay out at least 2 weekends a month do much better than guys that don't. I was talking to a driver earlier today, and he had scheduled home time this weekend. He was sitting in Louisiana, and he had home time scheduled, but we had a really nice fan load that was going to Iowa. And so, he's like, well, hey, I wanted to go home. I said, well, think about it this way. You got the opportunity to make a killer check next week if you take this load. So, he took the load. He's like, well, that makes sense, right? Because at the end of the day, we're out here to make money. And if you've got, nothing but green leaves of money sitting in front of that windshield, you need to go take it, right? So we tell everybody that, hey, because there's going to be some times that, you can't get out there and run for stuff that's under your control. So the more times that we can go out there and run and we can go make some money, the better off we're going to be.
David Hawley wants to know what our freight mainly consists of.
So what are we doing as far as freight? I guess you mean commodities. So, we're going to be heavy around the steel business in some shape or form, right? Whether we're hauling steel beams, rebar, steel pipe. We do a lot of that stuff. We haul a lot of oil field pipe as well. So that's going to be the bulk of our business. The next largest section is going to be building materials. So it's going to be drywall, lumber, shingles, PVC pipe, stuff like that, right? We haul very little machinery. That's probably less than 5% of our total business, just because we've kind of always have gone the other way in the building products segment because we have 53-foot trailers. So obviously, the more structural type materials that we can haul, the better off we're going to be. Because like I mentioned to you earlier, it's anywhere from 20 to 35% more. So that's where we think we get the biggest bang for our buck. So, with that being said, too, I'll tell you, what are our main runways? We get that all the time, right? So we typically run the eastern 2/3 of the U.S. is where we go. If you take I-35 back east is typically where we run. Do we go to Colorado a little bit? Yes, we do. Do we go to the Pacific Northwest a little bit? Yes, we do. So, when you're over here, you can do a lot of good things. Right now we're currently running a huge project running to out in the far out Southwest. Those guys are doing pretty well. So, we get projects like that that come up all the time that guys can go make some killer money. I mean, like I said, we had quite a few guys that did over $10,000 this week. So that's one of the reasons that they did, because they got there and they ran some long miles. So we definitely have that kind of freight. We've got a lot of good regional freight too. So it just depends on where you live, what you want to do, what your goals are. So just give us a call. We'll definitely walk you through it. We'll tell you a little bit more about what we've got going on that actually pertains to your goals and where you live.
See, Robin Stevenson says, home time, the longer you stay out, the more money you make. That's just trucking in today's world.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it really is. I mean, it's the more you stay out, the more opportunity you got to hit home runs, right? So, we tell everybody that too. But, we also understand that, you got families at home. There's things you need to do. I tell everybody too, the best way to make money in this business is just be consistent. If you're consistent week in and week out, you're going to be fine. The guys that go out there and really blow and go get it and, run themselves crazy for 2 weeks and then go home for a week, you're really not doing anything. Give me somebody that's going to consistently run 2,300 miles every single week. That person will, if you're the lease purchase guy, they're going to pay for a truck, and they're going to, and whether you're lease purchase or company, you can provide for your family. And that's the biggest thing, guys. So, if you go out there, stay consistent, you're safe, respectful to shippers and DOT officers and the driving public, the better off you're going to be. So, well, look, that looks like that's going to wrap it up for this episode. I'll tell you this too, guys. Look, check back with us every Friday about 3 o'clock. We're going to have one of these live feeds. So tell everybody about it. If you got some questions, give us a shout. Also, we're going to try to come up with good material for you guys. Share a little bit about how to be profitable in the trucking business, how to make more money as a company driver or a lease purchase driver. So we're going to do some segments like that. But look, if you're out there on the road this weekend, banging out some miles, stay safe. We look to have a nice, profitable week next week. I don't think there's any major weather that's out there, so we shouldn't have any problem, turning some miles, guys. So outside of that, everybody have a good and safe weekend. Thanks a lot.